Hi everyone, it's Shannon and welcome to today's video. So today's video, very excited because I'm going to be talking about the new menus that are on Royal Caribbean. So I've been wanting to do this for a while and I just haven't had a chance to do it. And I wanted to do a little bit more research and also kind of review my notes from our cruise that we went on in March on the Oasis of the Seas. And I did so, and I'm just going to go through the entire week and what we thought of the new menus. But before that, I do want to talk about a product that I have been using, and it is called Magic Mind. So Magic Mind is this, it's called like a nootropic, and it's a drink daily for a sharper mind, steady energy, and less stress. So the company contacted me because I have done a couple other videos as far as like health and things that I've used to help me sleep and help with stress. And they reached out to see if I was interested in trying their products, which I was. I did a little research on it, and I noticed that Joe Rogan had tried it. I don't know if he's still using it, but he had talked about it on his podcast. And so I thought I'd give it a try. So they sent me 2 boxes. So each box is 15. So they sent me 2 boxes, which is a 30-day supply. And I am almost through it. I think I have 3 left. And I have been loving it. I take it in the morning. I have a really big cup of coffee. I would say it's a cup of coffee, but it's really kind of like 2 cups of coffee, but it's 1 big cup. And I have that every morning. But I do notice like in like 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon, I start to get a lull. So what I started doing is I started taking this about within an hour after drinking my coffee. I drink this, and it's just basically a shot. It actually tastes really good. I don't know if it's got matcha, adaptogens, nootropics, immunity, and it's kind of like a bitter, like lemon. I don't know. But I like the taste, to be honest. So I take it, and then I've noticed it wasn't necessarily immediate, like you don't get that jolt of energy or anything, but I did notice like after like the day 3, I didn't have that lull at 2 or 3. And then after about 2 weeks, I started noticing that I was sleeping better, not waking up and sleeping more soundly, waking up more refreshed. So there's been a lot of things that I've seen that convinced me. Like I said, I did get the first 30-day supply on my own. I have since ordered another 30-day supply. So what I have here is a box of 15. You will see it is full. I just got my box of 30 that I paid for myself. I'm loving it. I think it's fantastic. It's definitely helped me with my focus, but and kind of not procrastinating. It's some things, but one of the things I've noticed so much is that it's helped me sleep. And it's helped me, get to sleep and have more sound sleep at night. And a couple of things, one of the things why it works is it has L-theanine, which is nature's time-release caffeine. And then it has Bacopa Manieri. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. It is a natural nootropic which helps with procrastination, impulsivity, and then also ashwagandha and rhodiola rosea, which works to decrease stress and low-grade anxiety, and then lion's mane and cordyceps mushrooms, which boost clarity and focus. And I've absolutely seen a difference in that as well. I do work from home, so I easily get distracted. I've got laundry, I've got things to do, and you easily get distracted when you work from home. You have to be really disciplined, and I have been able to kind of focus more on work. Also, when I'm trying to do videos and trying to do research, it really has helped me with that. So I am going to update you on a future video on what I'm thinking of this and if I'm still continuing it. I have, like I said, I purchased another 30-day supply, and what I did is you can save money if you do a subscription, which I did. So I plan on continuing taking this. I think it is very beneficial, and I'm anxious to see the long-term effects. They did give me a promo code. My promo code is FShannon20, and it can get you up to 56% off your first subscription. And and there is also a affiliate link below. So it is an affiliate link. So as I mentioned, they did send me the first 30 days. I have purchased it, so I am really liking it. And again, I will update you on a future video of what I'm thinking of it. So, but now, so it's kind of like food related, let's get into the Royal Caribbean menus. Okay, so it is currently August 2023. So earlier this year, they were announcing that Royal Caribbean was redoing their menus. And Matt from Royal Caribbean Blog, he has a podcast, and he did a great interview with someone from Royal Caribbean on why they were changing them. And a couple of things was more to streamline it and to make it faster and make the dinner experience faster. I will tell you, that was one thing that we did notice. For the most part, our meals were faster. There were a couple nights they weren't, but that was days that we usually did my time dining, and those were days that my time dining was like overwhelmed, and they moved us to the decks that had the regular main dining seating, like early seating and main seating, and those seatings were took longer. But I also thought it was because those servers that was not their schedule. So they weren't used to doing like my time dining. They were used to doing like the first seating, second seating. And that was understandable. But for the most part, when we were in my time dining, it was a lot faster. And then the other exception was when we did the second lobster night, but that was also, we had gotten moved. So if you want it to be streamlined and you want it to be fast, and you're doing my time dining, don't get moved to a separate deck. Stay to the deck that's my time dining, because that was our experience, is that every time we moved to a different, one of the main dining regular seatings decks, that our dinner was slower. But again, understandable, not the server's fault. Now, let's get into the menus. So the first menu is the Welcome Aboard menu. I thought it was good. So it had like the starters. Now the starters, before you had a couple starters that were like all their time, like escargot was there every day, and French onion soup was there every day, and so was shrimp cocktail. And then you had like the entrees that were there every day. So you had like the sirloin or the grilled chicken. In my experience, even the salmon, those were never really good. I tried not to eat those. So the fact that those are gone off the menus doesn't really bother me, because they were never good in the first place, to be honest. Now, they did have grilled chicken every night. It was available, and it was on the menu. You could see it where anytime there was like a chicken entree, you would see at the bottom in this really small print, grilled chicken is available upon request, and it was kind of like very, very hidden, but it was there every night on the menu. So the Welcome Aboard menu, they had escargot, which I think we had. They had the grilled shrimp cocktail, tomato soup. They had a lot of different menus. I thought that was a really good first night menu, and I thought it was really good. And one of the things also that they added is they also have the an Indian dish. So they used to have like the hidden Indian dish. Now the Indian dish is on the menu. My husband ate like the Indian dish like 3 nights of the 7-night cruise. It was really good. Like he loved it. And he was like, who knew I liked Indian food? It was just, and there was a couple times he wasn't sure, and the waiter gave him 2 entrees, and it was great. But we liked it all. I can't remember what I ordered, but it was really good. And I thought it was, the whole menu was great, and I no complaints from the first night. Okay, moving on to night 2. So night 2 was our first formal night. And the first formal night, whether, it's the second night or whatever, is going to be a taste of France. So that was our first formal night. And this was, you also had, the French onion soup was there. Now I was able to order that. I am gluten-free, and they were able to put it without the bread. The escargot was back, and they also had, some wedge salad, Caesar salad, butternut squash soup, crispy buttermilk calamari. A lot of different options for the starters. I remember getting the French onion soup and then the escargot. Anytime escargot was on the menu, I got it. I got that night, I got the classic beef tenderloin, and it was fantastic. Now this night we were in our my time dining. It did take a little longer, but that was not our fault. That was just because, or our waiter's fault. That was our fault because we were chatting with the table next to us, and we were there for like way longer, but it wasn't our server's fault. It was just because we were really enjoying our company of the table next to us. The desserts were great. Now desserts, we're not big dessert people. Also, most of the desserts are limited because I am gluten-free, but I thought, again, I think this was a great formal menu. It was fast, it was good. I don't miss the selections that were there every night because, again, every time I had ordered them, they were not good. Now, I also did forget to mention there are premium selections. So there are 3 premium selections every night. So you could order it every night. You have the main lobster tail, the chops, grill, filet mignon, or you can get the surf and turf. So that is available for extra purchase every night. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But we'll talk about the lobster tail, but and then I did order the chops filet mignon one night, but that's available for purchase every night. So if you want that filet mignon at Chops, but you don't want to go to Chops and spend the money, or like us, you couldn't get a reservation, you have that option of just purchasing the filet. Okay, so moving on to the third night. Our third night was a Taste of the Caribbean. That was the day that we went to Blvd. And so again, another great menu. I believe I had the roasted Caribbean chicken, which was great. And I believe Ray this was one of the nights that he had the Indian dish. Again, I had the baked onion soup, and I think that's all I had. So again, I think this was a limited menu for us, at least for me, because a lot of it wasn't gluten-free or something that was not easily made gluten-free. But again, I thought it was great. And this was one of the nights that we got moved to a different deck. So it was a little slow, but and we skipped dessert, but it wasn't too bad. This was one of the nights that it wasn't as bad as like the other night when we got moved to a different deck. But it was a little slower, but it was still pretty fast. But again, I thought the menu was great. And I thought it was, it was very representative of where we were, what we were doing. And, we were in Blvd all day. So again, I was really happy with the menu. Okay, so next was night 4, and night 4 was a Taste of Italy. And this, being gluten-free, was the one that I kind of didn't find anything that I could eat. The appetizers, seared beef carpaccio, Italian minestrone, there was a salad. So I obviously couldn't eat the crispy Parmesan. So, but this was the night that there really wasn't anything that stood out to me. I knew I wanted to have the filet from Chops one night. So this was the night that I ordered the filet, and it was fantastic. It was great. It was an extra $20. I did pay that. It was worth it. I loved it. It was great. I had no regrets, but there was just nothing on the menu that really called out to me. And being Italian nights are usually harder for somebody that's gluten-free. It's a lot of pasta. And I felt like, but again, I had no problem. Now, Ray, I think, ordered another Indian dish. So neither of us ate Italian food that night, but it was great. Again, and this night I remember it being really fast. Like we were in and out, even with the getting the filet from Chops, it was really fast. I want to say I don't think we ate dessert. So I think we were in and out probably in about an hour. Now, the 5th night was a Taste of Mexico. And the one thing I will tell you that I remember from this menu was the tortilla soup. The tortilla soup, which was part of the appetizers, was so good. It was so good that I ordered another one. I loved it. It was amazing. I loved it. And then I believe I got the salmon that night. So there was a chili lime crusted salmon. They were able to make it gluten-free, and it was fantastic. It was really, really good. And then Ray got, I believe, the grilled chicken breast, and which was also really good. So everything was fantastic. It was, a taste of Mexico, but it was literally that. It was like a taste of Mexico. But I just remember that tortilla soup, like I could have eaten 10 of those. They were so good. Now there is spaghetti that night, so that's kind of wondering that. And then there is obviously the Indian dish on the menu as well. So again, it's a taste of Mexico, but there's other options as well. And again, I remember that night our service was really fast. Then, of course, there's night 6. And night 6 for us was the formal night. So formal night, whether it's night 5 or night 6, the second formal night is the lobster night. And that is called the royal night. So the big thing right now is that you can only order one complimentary lobster tail. If you order any more, it's going to be $16.99. Now there have been rumors, and I've seen reports that now Royal Caribbean is charging, for extra entrees, and no, I mean, that is not the case. At least that's not what I have heard. That was not what we experienced. That is not the case. The only thing that was extra was when you ordered an additional lobster tail after the first one. There were several nights that my husband got 2 entrees because he would ask the server, what do you recommend? And he would a lot of times recommend the Indian dish. And my husband was like, well, I'm not sure. So he would bring him out 2. And, or he would bring him out one where he could try something, and he just brought 2 full entrees. So we never were charged. The only time we were charged was when I had the filet that, from Chops, and actually that was the only time we were charged. We never ordered an extra lobster tail. So that was it. And the lobster tails was great. Now the service that night was really slow, but everybody was there. And then they also sat us on one of the main floor, the main dining. We weren't going anywhere. We weren't planning on it. So that was fine. But I will say that particular night was very, very slow. Everybody was there. Everybody wanted their lobster. And then they moved some of the Mine Time dining to different decks. And again, like I mentioned, if you go to a different deck and you're My Time dining, you're going to one of the decks that's used to having timed seating. So our experience is that when you do that, the service is going to be slower. So just expect that. We weren't in a hurry. It was slower than we liked, but our servers were trying, so it wasn't their fault. But it was really slow. But the lobster tail was great. It was great. So would I have loved to have another one? Yes, but I wasn't willing to pay $17 for it. Okay, and the last night menu for every cruise is going to be the Bon Voyage menu. So put it this way, we had actually a Specialty Dining Reservation. I can't remember what it was, but I know it wasn't Chops, but it was one of the, maybe Giovanni's table. We had a reservation. We enjoyed the main dining menu all week that we ended up canceling it. We're like, why are we going to spend an extra $100 and something to go to the main dining or to go to a specialty dining when we were really enjoying main dining? Like, we enjoyed every meal. There were some meals we enjoyed more than others, but we really enjoyed every meal. And that has not been the case. So we ended up canceling it. And I'm so glad we did, because our Bon Voyage meal in the past, the last meal of the cruise had always been kind of iffy. To me, this was one of the best ones. I remember ordered the shrimp cocktail, the French onion soup. I think I ordered the escargot, and I asked, could I get escargot? And they still brought it to me, even though it wasn't on the menu. Can't say that they can do that all the time. But I had the grilled Mediterranean steak. It was so good. It was so good. Ray also got like the chicken, the Indian dish again. So it was like the chicken something, but the grilled Mediterranean steak was so good. And then they did bring me out a gluten-free dessert. I can't remember what it was. Yeah, they brought me out a gluten-free dessert. I can't remember what it was, but it was really good. But all I remember is that grilled Mediterranean steak, I remember eating it and saying, I'm so glad we canceled that specialty dining, because it was so good. It was so fun being in the main dining that night. They had a lot of like, thanking your waiters and your servers and a lot of activities. So it was a lot more fun, and it was a lot more fun than being in, a specialty dining. So, but that just kind of reiterates how much we enjoy the new menus, because we in the past would skip the main dining sometimes. And on our cruise on the Odyssey the year before, we only ate in the main dining twice. And this time we went to the main dining every single night. So our verdict on the new main dining menus is that we really enjoyed them. Now I will say, we are not foodies. I've said it before, we're not foodies, but we really enjoyed it. And like I mentioned, we have known to be skipping the main dining because we had gone through these menus and they were just kind of repetitive, and the main dining was slow. So service was faster, with those few exceptions, but more streamlined. And then the food was just better all around. So I'm a big fan. I know a lot of people aren't, so this is probably an unpopular opinion, but I was a big fan. And I am looking forward to it. We're booked on the Icon. Now we will probably book some specialty restaurants on the Icon because there's some that I want to try. And we've already tried these menus, but I'm unsure when we're going to go, because I really enjoyed, I'll probably skip Italy because that's the night that is probably the hardest for me. But I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to going back and seeing these menus, but we really enjoyed it. We liked it. So let me know if you've cruised on Royal Caribbean and you've tried the new menus, what you think of them. Do you agree, disagree? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. So with that, if you like this video, click like, click and subscribe. That way you get a notification every time I post a new video. Bye everyone.